All right. So some of you are watching that and you're going, wow, it's cool, but doesn't interest me. I want to get into animation. I want to get into, I know the route that I want to go. And this is cool stuff, but really not for me. But some of you are watching that and you're like, holy shit, that was really cool. I never knew that you could do that kind of thing. Right. And I show you this stuff because I want you to be exposed to the kind of work that people are doing, and that art and design isn't necessarily traditional. It's kind of constantly evolving. And the only thing in whatever industry you want to move on in, the only constant that you can really count on is change, is the fact that things are going to change and things are constantly changing and evolving. And if I have one piece of advice for you, because I can say this from personal experience, you don't want to make choices too early in your career that limit your trajectory of where you can go. All right. And I see it already. I see it already in students when they're like, okay, yeah, you're trying to, give us tutorials on the Adobe software, but I really like this piece of software that I'm working on. And I'm really comfortable with this. And this is my comfort zone. So this is where I'm going to stay. Right. And I get that. And I get that tendency because it's a very comfortable place to be. But check yourself on that and see if there are ways that you can allow yourself to be exposed to new things. Okay. Because I can tell you from experience, if you make these choices too early in your career, you're going to limit your possibilities as you move forward. When I was young, when I was in my mid 20s, websites were taking off. And there was lots of people that were getting into web design, and I didn't want to learn how to code, right? Coding was just something that didn't interest me. And so I was like, no, I'm going to focus on print design. And I actually had a really good career going for a while there, because most people that were kind of in my circle were doing a lot of web stuff, and nobody really knew how to work with high-res images and CMYK conversions and going to the press and doing press checks and all that kind of stuff. And so I was doing gangbusters. I was doing a lot of work working as a print designer within realms of people that were kind of getting into the web. And so it was great for a while, but obviously that was a very limited time frame. Right. And eventually I had clients that were like, we really love the print work that you're doing for us. Now we want you to do our website for us. And I'm like, I don't do websites. They're like, what do you mean you don't do websites? I'm like, well, I'll have to pass that off on somewhere. I could recommend someone, but I was giving away work. Right. Can you imagine now an animator like 10 years ago saying, I don't want to learn how to draw in software. I want to draw on paper and just flip the paper so that we can, see the animations that way. There's always going to be that one movie that comes out that is doing the old fashioned way of doing things, or doing like 2D animation. And everyone's going to be like, oh, I forgot how amazing 2D was. And that's so great. And, or like stop animation is having a real kind of regeneration now. And that's amazing. I love to see it. But even in the world of stop animation, studios like Leica are pushing boundaries where they're starting with the stop animation, but then they're also incorporating the digital, and it's kind of a blending of the two, right? Where movies 10 or 15 years ago were purely stop animation, even the stop animation industry now is kind of starting to blend in with these new technologies. So try not to limit yourself. Try to be open to different things. And if that video I just showed you, if you were really like, holy cow, that's something that I'm interested in, think about interaction design. Think about, it's about interacting with technology, right? It's about using programming, using software, using its ability, and humans interacting with it. And that's going to be more obvious in the next video that we watch. And then the third video, we're going to get into some experiential design, and where he's evolved his career with the industry. And the work he's doing now is all about experiential designs. And it's humans interacting with, but experiencing design in big public spaces. So try to take all of that with a grain of salt. I know that it doesn't relate to all of you guys, but regardless of the industry you want to go into, please don't set yourself up for failure by limiting what you think you're capable of doing. Because I promise you that if you can keep an open mind about where things are going and what you're capable of, then there's no limitations on where your career can take you.